Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I'd be able to send videos of watches like this to your inbox as soon as tomorrow morning. If you like this watch, and you happen to wear Prada, or you're simply a fan of the style, you can buy it on thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com, 24 hours a day and globally. Okay, you didn't see this coming, did you? Between Cousteau, Darwin, the Laureus Sport for Good Foundation, Mercedes F1, AMG, and even back in the 1990s, Saab, IWC has had a couple of interesting co-branding concepts, of which this 2003 model year 2000-piece limited edition IWC for Prada GST Chronograph is perhaps the most, or perhaps the least unexpected, most surprising. Let's just say this 3708-02 in stainless steel is an unexpected success, in addition to being simply unexpected. 39.7 millimeters across the round of the case. That's not including crown or chronograph pushers. Perhaps not as thick as it looks, 14.3 millimeters. It does have a little bit of cantilevered flare to its bezel, so not the best choice for a tight cuff, Prada included, but the watch should easily slide underneath a jacket cuff. Now, if you measure it across the wrist, I insist on measuring from the outermost rigid points, so these intermediate links that join the bracelet to the case, and when you measure from side to side between those two reference points, you're going to find that the span is a fairly substantial 51.1 millimeters, but that's wearable. That's like the distance across the wrist of a 40 millimeter contemporary Rolex on a solid end link bracelet. If you can wear that, you can wear this. The watch fits easily on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, so use that as a point of reference when sizing. You'll also note that the bracelet is familiar, as the GST series, launched in 1998, and of course GST standing for gold, steel, and titanium, brought us the modular bracelet design that we've seen on many IWC technical references since. So you press the dimple on the center link, and then you push the retaining bars through laterally, and you can actually take the entire bracelet apart, remove every individual link, and you can do this for obsessive compulsive close cleaning or very precise sizing. The bracelet is simple and handsome, tapered at the top, polished on its outer flanks, and otherwise satin finished. Very comfortable on the wrist. You will note that there is a little bit of a turn-in scallop profile, so there's a little bit of a tucked turn-in between the links on the underside to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. You'll also note that the clasp is nicely curved to match the underside of the wrist, and it features a handsome engine turning on the inside, so no surface unfinished. It is a trigger release clasp, so it has a measure of security, but in spite of the trigger mechanism, it's not exceptionally thick. It's lower in profile than a dive clasp. Moving back to the case profile, you can see that it is integrated with the flow of the lug, so this is an integrated case, bracelet, and lug design, and it looks handsome. It's clearly the predecessor of the 2000s and 2010s Ingenieur and Aquatimer families, but the GST, technically speaking, was neither. It was its own thing, and it was a diverse range of sports watches that included everything right up to and including split-second chronographs and perpetual calendars. This, however, the Prada limited edition of 2,000 pieces, is a fetching Panda-style chronograph with twin register layout and a gorgeous black Ray-Hawt outboard. You can see that the bezel really is minimized when you look at the watch from the top, but the Ray-Hawt complements the black, red, and silver aesthetic of a dial that works way better than I expected. I never thought a Prada watch for IWC would be quite this masculine, but it has the classical symmetry as well as color scheme of some of the best mid-20th century sports chronographs. Now, it's a IWC caliber 7922. So what is that? Well, it starts as a Valjoux 7750, and you can see this is back when they were still using the International Watch Co. nomenclature. It also has its original pre-Probus fish-style crown, so this is a real throwback in every respect. But the timepiece features the 7922, which is an automatic winding unidirectional winder based on the 7750, but dramatically elaborated by IWC. 28,800 vibrations per hour, 44-hour power reserve. It does feature both hacking seconds and a double quickset for cycling both the day and the date. Remarkably, it's adjusted in a chronometer like 5 positions, and back then in 2003, IWC was still receiving kits from ETA. Back before you had to take a full movement or nothing, IWC was able to buy the kits from ETA, then replace hairspring, regulator, balance, power supply, and train wheels while regulating the movement in 5 positions. So in many respects, what you're getting inside this watch is original IWC manufacturer watchmaking. The metallic tones of the dial are gorgeous. As you can see, even in the soft light of my light box, it is highly reactive, and it's got an explosive dynamism about it in the light. You'll also note that attention to detail is rife with this one. The Prada branding is fairly discreet and, in my opinion, tasteful. The balance of the dial top to bottom and side to side, thanks to the counterbalancing of the logo with the apertures for the day and the date, creates a cruciform symmetry that I find handsome. And you'll note there's a small amount of Luminova outboard of each of the diamond polished and hand applied indices. Yes, there will be a lume shot at the end of this video. The timepiece features a screw down crown and it's water resistant to 120 meters. So this is a timepiece with classical sizing, handsome time tested good looks, beautiful proportioning, and a Prada inspired color scheme and design about its dial that looks way better than you might have expected if you'd just been left with the proposition Prada watch with no visual. But we have a visual, and the visual is spectacular. You know what? This is a credit to both IWC and Prada, and I dare say quite a bit more attractive than many of the subsequent Saint-Exupéry, Charles Darwin, Laureus Sport for Good, and Cousteau watches. All of them may as well have taken their cues from the Italian House of Style. Prada watch or no, this is a great looking old school IWC. You can see it and make it yours on the watch box. IWC. You lose the IW, but you can still see by night. This is the IWC 3708-02 IWC GST Prada. See it by the light of day on the watch box.